Welcome back. All right, so I've done half the teams. We get into the second half, and there's a lot of Blues jerseys in this collection. Just throwing that out there, including one that I should have taken out when I was going through my jerseys, but I didn't. And then I thought, you know what? That's going to be interesting to start with. Can I find it right off the bat? No, but I will get it. I will get there. Yeah, there are definitely some in here that I could have pulled out. Anyways, this monstrosity, I have a goal in life that someday I will own all of the monstrosities like this, which was the split half and half. I remember thinking at the time that's an interesting idea, but I realize now it's a monstrosity, and it reminds me of Homer Simpson saying, "I've ruined two perfectly good jackets," because this is sewn together here. So two jerseys were harmed in the making of this one jersey. So with that out there, we'll get into the '70s look first here. Or I don't have the '70s look because I haven't seen that one yet available. I guess we can start with the early '80s. They've had various looks over the years, but they've kept things pretty simple. The shade of blue they use has changed though, so this is a lighter shade of blue than they use now. And I like these. I'd like to see some kind of throwback to either one of these jerseys. I'd be fine with either. But yeah, I do like the '80s style for the St. Louis Blues. They've kept things pretty straight across the line. Like there's not a huge difference. That's why I'm surprised there's so many of these. Maybe I didn't get to the St. Louis portion of the collection when I was going through all my jerseys. But anyways, we'll take a look at these. This one here is not the one I'm looking for, so it's this one here. So the Blues then in the '80s had these. Now there is a St. Louis Blues jersey which has the Blues blue note is smaller and it has blues over the top and a word mark. I have not found one yet that's not a kitted jersey. So somebody gets the jersey, they get it in a blank, and they get a kit and they sew everything on. And so I haven't seen one where that's not the case. You'll notice that this and this are virtually identical, but this one, yeah, it's a different fabric. So this one here is a Team Classic, CCM Team Classic, and this one here is from that time. So this one was made as a throwback. This one's actually from the '80s, and so yeah, we'll start with those. Well, start with is a term that I shouldn't be using at this point because we started 256 ago. So here's my Brett Hull, and this is obviously when they change over to Coho, which is late '90s, and it really does look almost identical to what they were now. I think the Blues have the. I mean, every team has their perfect look, right? And I think for the Blues, this is it. And I don't think we'll see the Blues ever change from this in terms of the color, in terms of all that. This one here, of course, is Brett Hull. This one is a blank, as I try to make sure a lot of the newer ones are. So with that aside, let me just hold up the Adidas version. So there's the Adidas white jersey. Now here's one that I had to have, which is a starter. And see, it's just the fabric's different. It's a different color on the shoulders, but it's virtually identical. There's very little difference between the two. Again, it's a starter, so you're gonna have a bumpy logo. It's just that's the way that works. They bubble. They bubble. They just do that. Okay, so now which ones in here are not exactly the same as the other ones? Like this is Ryan Miller. This one here, this is a Doug Waite. So one difference, of course, this is where you have the piping down the side, which the Reeboks had in the beginning, and then Reebok smartened up, put the stripes back at the bottom, and got rid of the piping along the side. So this is a Doug Waite. This is one of my Ryan Millers. I might be one of the few who has a Ryan Miller with the Blues, although they were on full moon jerseys, so I would imagine there may be some others out there that have it. Now, one design they had in between all of this, of course, was this. Now, they did the throwback here. This is my Adidas throwback. This one I got from Ben H. Sports. It is a Wayne Gretzky. It's fantastic. You know what's weird too is that I have the CCM version of this as well as the Adidas. I much prefer the Adidas. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the neckline. It's the only thing I can come up with. But yeah, these are really nice jerseys. I think they're sharp, and I know the Blues only brought this back for, was it 1 year or 2 years? They used this as the third. It doesn't feel like it was that long that they used it, and I don't know that it was an official third or if it was a throwback or however you want to look at it. So here's my Torrey Krug, which I got at the time because I thought, well, Krug signed a long-term contract, so he's never leaving St. Louis. So that's a thing. So yeah, there's that. There's this one here, which also has the piping on it. So this is the Reebok when they first came in. No stripes on it. And yeah, but the colors stay the same. Again, I think the Blues have a perfect color scheme going there. Here's the 50th anniversary, which Bear got into the drawer this was being kept in, and she mauled it pretty badly. So it looks fine on camera, but in person there's too many issues. And it's a Tarasenko, so now there's that issue as well in terms of the jersey and me wearing it, because now Tarasenko, of course, has moved on. All right, so from the rest of this here, we get into the really fun ones from here. Now, I showed you the Winter Classic. Here's the third jersey that was born out of it. Now, I do prefer the Winter Classic's neckline. I prefer the look of it, but they're really quite similar, obviously. I just prefer the Winter Classic. I have not been able to find a replacement for this, however. So I do like the neckline, though, in that third. That's a nice touch. Now, they had the Reebok third. There's some division on this. There are people who think this is absolutely fantastic, which is my opinion. And then there are people who are wrong and think this was not a good look and that they're glad it's gone. I love this jersey. Absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I think that it's the best of the Blues jerseys, to be honest. And it's a shame that they're not still using it as a third. Again, one man's opinion. So we'll talk about this one here. And then we'll get into the reverse retros, which I generally have been closing this out with. I love this. This, of course, is a throwback. Very, very similar. Very, very similar to this jersey here. So the similarities are absolutely there. And, yeah, I mean, you can see it, that the one is definitely very similar to the other. So this definitely, it seems like, is kind of an echo of the 80s design. And, of course, using that style of logo. I think the logo looks fantastic. I love the neckline. The striping is nice as well. It's a really nice throwback, but with a little bit of a change, where it's kind of a cream colored instead of white. Now, I know that in reverse retro terms, I feel like this one was more well received by Blues fans than this one, but I like this one better. I think this one's really, really nice. Again, you just reverse the colors. It's really quite simple, and you put it as your reverse retro. This one here, this is of course the concept that they had for the logo initially back in, what was it, 1966? It was before the team was on the ice, and then they, when the team actually took the ice in 67, 68, this was not the logo. It's a bold decision, this one. It's bold striping as well. But for me, I'll do like this one better. But this one does have sort of this ugly quality to it. I thought about when I was getting the reverse retros with my number on them and my name on them. I thought about this one. I didn't do it, but I did think about it. And at any rate, again, for me, it's this one. But I know there are Blues fans who will disagree, and that is the right of everyone. Absolutely. So there you go. St. Louis Blues. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.